Minneapolis is at a breaking point. Yesterday, hundreds of anti-ICE demonstrators confronted and chased off a small far-right rally outside City Hall, pushing a group of fewer than a dozen activists back through downtown. What began as a planned demonstration quickly dissolved into disorder, with counter-protesters surrounding the small group and pushing them away from the site. There were reports of objects thrown and minor scuffles, though police say no serious injuries were officially logged. The organizer, Jake Lang, known for far-right activism and previously pardoned by President Trump for his role in January 6th, later claimed he had been stabbed, a claim authorities have not verified and for which there is no official police report. But this was never just about one rally. For days, Minneapolis has been gripped by daily protests after the deployment of thousands of federal immigration enforcement officers as part of what the government calls an expanded crackdown. Tensions ignited earlier this month when a federal ICE agent fatally shot Renee Good, a 37-year-old Minneapolis resident, during an enforcement action. Good's death, under contested circumstances, sparked widespread outrage and escalated confrontations between protesters and federal agents. More recently, clashes between protesters and federal personnel, including the use of chemical agents against demonstrators, have been reported on the 10th night of protests. In response, a federal judge in Minnesota issued an injunction restricting federal agents from detaining or using force against peaceful protesters, ruling that officers must have reasonable suspicion of criminal activity before taking such actions. The political stakes have also risen sharply. The Department of Justice is investigating Minnesota's governor and the mayor of Minneapolis for allegedly impeding federal immigration enforcement, a move that has drawn national attention and fierce criticism from both sides of the aisle. At the same time, President Donald Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807 to quell persistent protests and restore what his administration characterizes as law and order. As of tonight, approximately 1,500 active duty troops are on standby, and the Minnesota National Guard has been mobilized, though full street deployment has not yet occurred. This is Minneapolis, the same city where George Floyd was killed, and many residents say the current atmosphere of distrust and confrontation feels painfully familiar. At the heart of the crisis are vital questions about immigration enforcement, federal authority, and civil liberties, at a moment when communities feel caught between security and overreach. Is this a necessary enforcement of federal law, or a step too far in federal intervention? This is CivicWire USA. We'll keep tracking this story as it develops.